I think we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the very first live show on the Flippin Hippos channel in 2021. I'm Star, and if you're new to the channel and you're not familiar with who we are, myself and my life and business partner, Keith, are full-time resellers. This is our only job for both of us. We do this full-time. We sell on a variety of platforms as well as run a social media presence on Instagram. We have a Facebook group. We have a YouTube channel, obviously. And I focus mostly on reselling plush and jeans. Those are my two favorite things to do and what I'm an expert in. And Keith focuses on all of our men's clothing, electronics, and he runs a wholesale business. I wouldn't even say on the side because our wholesale business has blown up since we run the business with Casey, the Rockstar Flipper. Started in 2019. It has blown up and it has become a very big focus of our business as one of our streams of income. I think that's us in a nutshell. This channel focuses on teaching, so there's a lot of information on this channel for new sellers as far as, you know, the ABCs of getting started and how to be a reseller. But there's good information on here for veterans as well. I do a lot of videos on the realities of reselling, the behind the scenes. It's not, you know, how it's not glamorous and what it really takes to make it. I don't shoot unicorn farts or rainbows or anything like that. I tell it how it is. I dish out a lot of tough love. And I don't glamorize or sugarcoat anything. This job is hard. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. Working for yourself is going to be harder than working for anyone else you've ever worked for. I'm picking it a Band-Aid. But it's worth it because in the end, you're working for yourself. And all of the money that you make, you're building your own dreams, whether you're turning that money into capital that you're buying more inventory with, or paying off debts, or saving up for your dreams, hopes, aspirations. When you work for someone else, you're just lining their pockets, right? So that's basically everything in a nutshell. Most of you aren't new. You've heard this a million times. You're rolling your eyes. You want me to get into this show. I cut the wrong finger. Look at which one I cut. Apparently there was like a little plastic piece on the light switch at the bottom of our stairs that goes up to the third floor that we lovingly call the serial killer room. It's an entire third floor, one huge unfinished area where we keep all of our inventory, and there's a finished room where we keep our plush. Anyway, we were coming down the stairs with our shipping today, and I have to go up and down stairs kind of awkwardly because of my disability in my back. So I usually like back up against the wall, and go down sideways one step at a time and kind of slide down the wall so my back has support. It would be humorous if it wasn't so sad that I'm a cripple, but I reached behind me to turn off the light as I was coming down, and I cut my finger on a big old piece of plastic and really hurt. So I put a Band-Aid on it, but I'm like, I really can't show anybody this finger. All right, let's say hi to some folks in the chat. eBay Addicts is here. Welcome in. Thanks for the reminder to hit the like button. Noam and the Frog are here, guys. That's Bill and Dave, another couple that resells together full time, and they're also very dear, close friends of mine and Keith's. And they have a blue wrench, so they are moderators here, and you can ask them for help if you need it. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and their YouTube as well. Liz is here. Welcome in. She's here on her lunch break in California. Purple Mountain Crafts is here. Let me refresh and see how many folks are here. In case you were wondering, I'm really just trying to fill up the time so we have enough people to jump into the meat of the show. Of course, if you do come in late or if you miss any part of any show ever, they always go up on the channel later to watch the replays of at your own leisure if you don't have time to watch the whole show or you're busy when it's live. Thank you for putting up the link there. The link that Bill and David put up is to the liquidation lots where we sell our wholesale lots for resellers. Carrie Mary's mom is here. Welcome in. Anna Stewart, Pam, Pame. I totally butchered your name and I'm sorry. Hope your finger heals fast. Thank you so much for that. Mary McQuaid is here, and Alyssa. Welcome in, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. It'll heal. It's just a little cut, but it's always like the tiniest little cuts in your fingers that bleed the most, which kind of sucks. And I'm left-handed, so of course I got to use this hand, but it's cool. So welcome in, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. So far, 2021 hasn't really been too much of an improvement over 2020. 2020 was the year of the poop, and I kind of feel like 2021 walked in and told 2020, here, hold my beer. But, you know, it's only January 12th. We got a long way to go. So hopefully things get better. I think sales are going to be okay. If you didn't see our What Sold video last evening, we had our store on vacation for most of December. We weren't really listing a lot. We were doing a lot of back-end work. We did have to go to Florida for about a week and a half to look at some houses and stuff. We got back, and we haven't really been listing. So our store was on vacation for the better part of, I'd say, a month. Kind of like when shipping got really bad, and then we decided that we weren't going to be really working on stuff anyway. We put it off. We just kind of started focusing on back-end work. And currently we're not listing because we are still dropping the poop out of the store and getting rid of old inventory, as well as working on the wholesale. We have a pallet coming in here with 2,000 items, so we got to get to listing. But we are also working on, I think it's 4 guides simultaneously. Keith and I are working all day on them, so we're not really listing so much. We are updating our 2020 clothing guide for 2021. I'm updating and upgrading the Plush guide for 2021 to add more information to it. I'm doing a customer service guide with templates in there that people will be able to use for customer service responses on eBay and or Posh. And I'm working on my jeans guide. So until all that gets done, I want that done now in the beginning of 2021 because they help people, and the longer they're out there, the more they can help folks. So when all of those get finished, of course, we'll have bundle deals where you'll be able to get, you can buy one if that's just what you want, but we'll have deals where if you buy more, they end up being like half off, or buy 2, get 1 free. I'll also be doing giveaways and such. So that's what we're working on right now. We're not really listing, but we're still selling. I think the point is that we're dropping all the poop off the back end. Take note of this, guys. This is a good tip. Even though we're not listing, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, everybody should be listing every single day. We've just had to take stock and reorganize our priorities over here because we have so much else going on with the wholesale and the guides and such. But we are still ending everything every morning that's going to end anyway within 24 hours and selling similar back into the store, double checking photos. If the photos are bad, it goes into drafts. We pull it, rephotograph it, and put it back in. We're rechecking keywords and titles. If it's old stock and it's poop and it shouldn't have been there in the beginning, we're just pulling it out and redonating it. So I think just by us still actively ending all of these listings and putting them back in the store, reworked titles, reworked photos, dropping the prices by like 5%, running the sales, and then dropping all of that stuff on the back end that drags you down. I think that's helping us stay afloat because we had 5 sales today. Normally we have 10, but I would think if we weren't listing at all, we would have like 1 or 2. So, I don't know. I just think that we're going to talk about best business practices anyway tonight. Tonight's kind of all about talking about what we did, what we're doing now, Keith and I, currently, what we have done in the past, the mistakes we've made, things you can learn from. Because you don't always have to learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes. So that is part of why I love to be so realistic on this channel and tell you guys all the absolute truths of how things are. Because if Keith and I messed up somewhere, Keith and I did something wrong, and I can share that with you, one, I'm being honest and transparent and letting you know that, hey, no one's perfect. All resellers, even the biggest ones, even the most prolific power sellers on eBay with 6 figures who make all this money, guess what? They all started somewhere. They all started at the bottom. They've all worked their way up, and they all made the same mistakes on the way up. But hopefully when I share mine with you, you know not to do it. And you can learn from my mistakes without having to make them yourselves. So tonight we are going to talk about focusing on the positives and the successes of your business. I think that's super important coming out of 2020. And how to learn from your mistakes, but not focus on them. Everyone should see, oh shoot, I dropped my pen. I need a pen to play with when I talk. Let me get another one. So everyone should obviously learn from your failures, but they shouldn't stop you in your tracks. It shouldn't be like, oh, I made a mistake, I failed, this didn't work, this didn't pan out, whatever it is. I think a lot of people tend to focus on that and then dwell on it and allow it to suck their energy out, their positive energy, and kind of hold them back from moving forward. So if something doesn't work, if something fails, if you make a mistake, you know what? Take a second to be upset about it, because we're human beings and we have those feelings and emotions, and that's fine. But just a second, because this is business and there really is no place for emotions in business, as I've told you guys 1,000 times. But that doesn't mean you're not going to feel a twinge or angry at yourself or, upset that something didn't work out. So take that second to feel what you need to feel and then get over it. And instead of dwelling on it and allowing it to put this dark cloud over you or make you feel negative or make you feel like you can't move forward, just learn from it. Okay, I won't do that again, but what can I do better? What can I do different moving forward? If I'm not going to do that, what am I going to do differently? What am I going to do better? How am I going to succeed? And then take all of your successes and line them up next to your mistakes, really, even if you're just doing it mentally. Because a lot of folks don't realize that one mistake that can darken your whole day and just drag you down and make you feel like absolute and utter crap and keep you from doing positive things. If you actually think about it and line your mistakes up next to your successes, you usually have like 5 times as many successes. You will usually have these little stepstones along the way where you have succeeded at something, even something as small as a $20 sale on a 50-cent item, flipping silver jeans for $50, even though we all know people like to sell them for less. But little successes along the way. They're going to be far greater and far more in number than your mistakes. So take those successes and those accomplishments and allow those to be what drives you. Allow those to take up rent-free space in your head and drive you all day long. Just remember all the things you've done right and all the things you can continue to do right. Learn from the mistakes, but don't dwell on them. But don't let anything go to your head either, because there's nothing grosser than having a huge ego and being a braggart. I'm just going to say that. People who brag, to me, personally, they sound like people who probably really aren't successful and just brag to try to make themselves sound more important than they are. I've always learned in life that, generally speaking, successful people are either very quiet about it or they share it in a way that's positive with the world. So they'll share their experiences and their successes in a way that can help others or lift others up. And people who are bragging are usually the ones that are doing it in a way to make others feel small and less. And that's because they themselves feel small and less. And they do these things to make themselves feel better. So keep that in mind. If someone's trying to make you feel, if they're banging their chest at you and bragging, they're probably not doing as well as they said they are. They probably are just trying to make themselves feel better. Now, if someone's showing you how they succeeded in a way to give you a hand up, chances are that person is honestly successful and just wants to help people. There's plenty of room at the top. And I was just talking to David about this yesterday, in fact, in text messages. There's a lot of people out there who are just negative and just gross and mean, and they can't handle seeing other people being successful, and they're rude, and they got something shitty to say about everything you say. And there's room enough at the top for all of us. You don't have to put other people down to succeed. You don't have to step on other people to succeed. We can all be at the top together, successful. There's so much room up there. You know where it's crowded? It's crowded at the bottom, and that's what David said. It's really crowded at the bottom. Go to the top. We got a lot of space up here, guys. Let me check in with the comments, and then we're going to share our mistakes. Hold my beer. I swear 2021 rolled in right after midnight and told 2020, hold my beer. There's our Facebook group, guys, if you want to join. You want to be in there for a couple reasons. I know I wrote one down. Oh, because of giveaways, but I'm going to talk about it in just a second. The guides have been very helpful. Thank you much for that. It's hard to get back into the swing of it. The shipping was so bad. I finally received a package I ordered before Christmas. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, I finally got a new microphone. So things should sound better to you guys. We ordered 2 wholesale boxes from Greg before Christmas, and one arrived. One is arriving tonight or tomorrow, and one is still out for delivery, or they said there was a problem. I don't know. Yeah, there's still some remnants of that, ripples of it. Impressed, your shirt matches the day of the week. Not always, but I do try to wear this shirt on Tuesdays. But sometimes I wear it on Sundays, Fridays. The video I put in chat, no. No. The video you put in chat is actually the very first video I ever did on YouTube, and it is cringy. It is cringy, but it's there. I've never taken any videos down from the channel. Every single one I've ever done in the 3 years we've been on is up. I have definitely learned from my mistakes on YouTube. We're going to talk a little bit about those. I've got a small, tiny list of those. But we're mostly going to talk about reselling mistakes tonight, because that's where you guys are going to learn from. Hi, Donna. Welcome in. Good to see you. Emily finally made it to a live show. Welcome. So I need to go watch it. It's cringy. It is cringy. You can tell if you watched my older videos, if you've been with me since the beginning. I definitely got more comfortable in front of the camera as time went by. I definitely felt more at ease. It didn't take me that long, though. I remember, like, my 4th video laughing and just saying, I'm talking to, like, all 12 of you out there. And I knew right then that I was going to be comfortable, whether it was 12 people or 1,000 people. And now we're up to almost 9,000 people, I think. So here's a good reason to be in the group. Someone always has the answer you need. Yes, that's a good point. We have people in our Facebook group who sell all types of things, so you're always going to get an answer. It's plush centric, definitely, because Plushie Queen tracks other plushie sellers, but we have antique sellers, book sellers, electronic sellers, clothing sellers, shoe sellers, you name it, they're in that group. They're all over the world. They're in all different time zones, and they're all on different sleep schedules. So you can ask a question at 3 a.m. your time, and you might get an answer. And people in there are not rude, right? I should say that. People in my group are really nice to each other. They're very respectful. They will never make fun of someone for being new or asking a stupid question. No such thing. You can be absolutely new and ask a totally dumb question. I put that in quotes because I don't believe in dumb questions. And other groups, they will ridicule you or make fun of you or give you sarcastic, smart-ass answers. But in my group, that just doesn't happen. We also joke around. We share memes. It doesn't always have to be reselling related. That's another thing that really irks me in some of the other Facebook groups. People get so uptight. Like, when does this have to do with reselling? I don't know. Nothing. We're all in here together. We're coworkers. Like, when I worked at Target, when we were in the break room, the last thing we talked about was work. We talked about movies and books and things we were going to do after work and what our weekend was like, and people didn't yell at you. What does this got to do with Target? And I've always just kind of seen like the reselling group as a break room where we all go to talk. It doesn't always have to be shop talk. You know, and memes and stuff are acceptable too because they make us laugh. There's so many funny memes out there and funny like screenshots of exchanges between folks on Facebook Marketplace. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so what you think is obvious to you may not be obvious to someone else. And like I've already mentioned in this show just a few minutes ago, everyone started at the beginning. Everyone had the same stupid questions at the beginning, and everybody followed the same journey to get to where we're at. No one is exempt. Everyone made the same mistakes. Everyone was new at some point, and everyone at some point didn't know better. We didn't know better. Our first video on YouTube was all about how we bought all these Beanie Babies because we thought they were worth money, and we didn't know. Hey, Better Barbie, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Where's Zombie tonight? He usually pops in late because he likes to make an entrance, and he's too good to be here on his own. No, I'm kidding. Am I, though? All right, so, you guys, we have hit 3 years on Facebook. Technically Thursday, the 14th. Will be 3 full years on YouTube, not Facebook. We've been reselling longer than that. Most of you have already heard our story, so I'm not going to tell it again. But my very first video on YouTube was January 14th, 2018. So Thursday will be 3 years. We're going to celebrate it tonight. Woo! Yay, okay? Because tonight's my live show. But in our Facebook group on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I thought about giving away one of my plush guides, but since I'm in the process of updating that, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or like maybe a gift card to Amazon or something. I'm not sure what I'm giving away, but I will be giving away something on Thursday. We'll hold a drawing in our group. If you're in the group and you've participated in giveaways before, you're familiar. I'll make a post and it'll say this is to celebrate our 3 years. And to enter the drawing, you have to comment below with a hippo. That's your entry fee. You can put a picture, a GIF, a sticker. Just got to be a hippo. And then I assign everyone a number. And then I do a random number generator to draw the winner. I have to figure out what I want to give away, though. I want it to be unique. I'll probably just give a plush guide away. That's what I always give away. Let me know what you guys think over here. What do you want me to give away? I want to give something away. Because we wouldn't be here 3 years later, and we wouldn't still have a YouTube channel if we didn't have all the support of all you wonderful folks. All right, so let's see. Tonight I wanted to talk about focusing on the positive, learning from your mistakes. We did all that. Learning. I wrote the words blah, blah. We did all that. So, hey, Beth, welcome in. It's good to see you. Yes, the Facebook group is a good community of support. That is a hippo. Here it is. Hippo. All right, so here's some of the biggest mistakes that Keith and I made in the beginning when we were learning how to resell. These are things that you should never do. We thought Beanie Babies were worth money, and we bought a whole bunch of them. Fortunately, we didn't invest too much capital or too much money in them. We found them at the bins. I guess if you want to go back and watch that horrible, cringy first video I ever put up on YouTube, I told the whole story in that video. But we did find, the bins they roll out. You dig through. There were like 4 or 5 of them full of Beanie Babies. We filled up a cart, maybe 2 carts. I can't remember. I had a stick because my back is bad and I can't bend over, so I was digging with a stick. Terrible. But anyway, Beanie Babies don't even weigh an ounce on their own. So we didn't spend too much money. We just paid by the pound and dug them all out. We thought we were going to be rich. We found some with tag errors. We found this duck. I can't even remember the duck's name. There was a duck that I looked up, and he was worth thousands of dollars, and the purple princess bear, and oh my god, we were going to be so rich. No. Beanie Babies aren't worth money. Are some Beanie Babies worth money? Yes. Are some tie Plush worth money? Yeah. Most of them are crap or bread and butter filler. So we also fell into the trap of believing that the Black Diamond Disney videos were something special. They're not. And fortunately, again, we did not put a lot of money into those until we found out that they weren't worth money. We had just heard that they were. So whenever we saw a bunch of VHS yard sales or thrift stores, we would go through them looking for those black diamonds, and we never found one. And then we found out, oh, these are not worth money. They're not what people say they are. Drake. Yes, his name was Drake. He was a mallard duck. Thank you, Alyssa. So yeah, we thought black diamonds were worth money as well, and Beanie Babies. Neither of those are worth money. And if you ever see anybody tell anybody in that Facebook group, it's because they're being sarcastic and rude to new people. And people buy into it, and that's why I don't like people to tell people that. Even though most of us know you're joking by now, new sellers don't. And fortunately for us, we had only, taken a bunch out of the bins and paid by weight and paid like maybe $20 for all of them we had. But not even 20. I think they weighed, that video said how much they weighed. I think all of them together may have weighed like 10 pounds now that I think about it. So we paid maybe $10-15 for them all. But what if somebody didn't go to the bins? What if they bought them for like $2 a piece or $5 a piece because they thought they were worth money? Just kind of discourage that if you see that. But make sure that the newbies know. Those are not worth money, and Keith and Star made that mistake. Before we really learned how to comp items, we always looked at listed. We never looked at sold until we learned. That was when we learned pretty quickly. Like within a month of listing on eBay, we knew better. Thankfully, again, we learned pretty quickly. But some people don't learn before the month is up. Like there's a deadline. Sorry, guys. Some people don't learn quickly enough, and they're making these mistakes for a while. So comping should always be looking at solds. Anybody can list anything for any price. That's the problem with Beanie Babies. There's still some on there on eBay for thousands of dollars, and that's just not the case. You got to look at the solds. You got to look at what things are actually selling for. What are people actually willing to pay for these items? Hey, Hawaii Flower Child, welcome in. You got to look at these things. And fortunately, now we have Terapeak available to those of us with store subscriptions. We didn't have that back when we started. Terapeak was a subscription that we didn't want to pay for. But now we all have access to it for free on our Seller Hub. So look at the solds there too, because those go back a full year. eBay's solds only go back 3 months. So I personally like to see what were people willing to pay a year ago versus 6 months ago versus now. And then look at listed too. You kind of have to look at listed because the market can change, prices can change. Of course, everyone chasing the fast nickel can very quickly trash a brand or trash the value of an item. But sometimes they'll come back up. Sometimes they'll go down. So I like to look at solds. I like to look at the listed too as well and just kind of figure out for myself. Quite honestly, when it comes to jeans and plush, I don't really comp anymore. I just know what I want. I know what things are worth. But when you're first learning, make sure you're not just looking at the listed. That's the quickest way to get yourself in trouble, whether you're listing things too high so they're not going to sell or you're not listing them at their value. Say like you look up silver jeans and you see a bunch of turds selling them for $20 and you decide to list them for $20. You're now contributing to that race to the bottom. FYI, I still sell silver jeans on the reg between $40 and $50. I can get more than $20 for used Vanderbilt, American Eagle, and Gap. So I would not sell silver jeans for that price. Do I sound snotty? I don't care. This is one of my soapboxes. I freaking hate people who race to the bottom and trash the value of items. Okay, anyway, next mistake. So the next mistake, and this is probably one of the worst ones we made, and probably one of the biggest ones we made back in the beginning. We would go to 99-cent day or half off day at Goodwill, Salvation Army. We had a local thrift store up the street for a while that had ended up closing in 2018. But we would, in the very beginning, just hone in on whatever color ticket was on sale. So let's say we went in and Goodwill, 99 cents Sunday, and all green tags were 99 cents that day. The biggest mistake we ever made was going to the racks and honing in and just looking for those green tags to see what was 99 cents. You should still be flicking through every item. You should still be flicking one by one. Flick, 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 flick. Dave and Bill always laugh at me pre-COVID when they used to come out and visit me and we used to go sourcing together. I would always say, I go through my stuff like this. Flick, 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 really fast. But you want to go through it one by one because you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're honing in on only those items that are 99 cents, number one, what are you passing up? What are you not seeing? What brands are on that rack that are probably worth full price? You're only looking at the items that have been around long enough that they're on this low sale. So these are probably going to be bread and butter and filler items, which are fine. They're absolutely fine. We have a volume-based business based on volume and bread and butter and filler items, but you want to have a mix of both. You want to have a good mix of both. And when you're only looking at those sale tickets, those colors that you're honing in on, you're missing out on a lot more. We did that for close to a year before we realized, I think it actually was on accident. I was flicking through the jeans and looking at the green tags, or let's say they were green that week. And I may have passed by a silver pair and I thought, oh, I heard of this brand. And I'm like, I know this name. So I looked them up and I'm like, oh my God. And that was how silver became my favorite. But then I was like, wait a minute, these are $7.99, but they're worth it. So then I was like, how much other stuff? So I went back through and found tons of stuff. So there's brands that are worth paying up for. There's brands that are worth paying full price for. And you want to look at everything on the rack, not just the sale tickets. And we only went on sale days. So again, stuff that's been around long enough that the store couldn't sell it, that they're going to put it on sale, has already been picked over. And we only went on those days where things were on sale and picked over already, versus going a couple times a week when they're putting out new stuff that might be better brands, worth more money, and sell for more. So don't do yourself that disservice. Look at every single thing on the rack. Look at going more than once a week. I know we're kind of in this weird post shutdown. Some places are still shut down. Some might re-shut down. But when things open back up, she does flick, 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 flick. Mom Pa's Closet Collectibles is here. Welcome in. Hey, Lindsay says she's never caught alive. Welcome in. All right, so another thing was that we picked up a lot of poop and a lot of crap. Now, that's how we learned, but that's the hard way to learn. In retrospect, I probably wouldn't change the way Keith and I learned, because we learned a lot really fast. We did not spend a lot of money to do it, though. You guys, we went to the bins, we paid by weight, and we, again, only went on sale days, and we only flicked through for the color that was on sale. So everything, our cost of goods in the beginning, everything we purchased was $1 or less, unless we stumbled upon something really fantastic and great that was worth paying more for, which was usually at yard sales because of how we've honed in on those colors on the racks. We did, buy a Polaroid in the beginning for $50 that we flipped for like $400. Stuff like that you knew. But generally speaking, with clothing, we paid $1 or less per item because we either paid by weight at the bins or we went to sales. And that was how we learned. That is the hard way to learn. But we learned really fast. We bought everything that was 99 cents. We bought everything we could find at the bins. We brought it all home and we learned from there as we comped it and took photos of it and got it listed. We learned this was a mistake. Never source this again. Oh, this is good. This is decent. We'll call this bread and butter, so we should really look for this again. And holy crap, this is a Bolo. We should always be out looking for this. But again, that is can turn out to be an expensive way to learn if you don't have access to the bins, if you don't have access to 99-cent items, if you don't have access to really cheap cost of goods. It's not really a good way to learn because you could be throwing away a lot of money. Watching YouTube videos, they're free. That's a good way to learn. You can watch haul videos and what's sold videos to see what other folks are sourcing and what they're selling them for. Those are the two videos you should always be looking at. I still watch other people's haul videos and their what sold videos because I still want to learn from other resellers. What are they sourcing? What are they selling? That's one way to learn. You can drop the money, $20 to $25 on a good guide from a reseller you trust. You can look at it like that guide's going to help you out with thousands of items for a full year or more. And you drop $20 on it, or you could have dropped that $20 on 20 different items to bring home, and now you've only learned about those 20 brands, whereas a $20 guide is going to teach you about thousands of brands across different categories. So you just have to kind of figure it out for yourself. Do you want to buy all the things and learn, or do you want to just watch free videos and buy guides? Keith and I made a lot of mistakes on shipping in the beginning. Holy crap. Did y'all know, this is funny, I wouldn't touch jeans for the first year and a half, 2 years that I was a reseller. They're my second favorite thing next to Plush now. I love jeans. I wouldn't touch them for the first year and a half to 2 years. You want to know why? Because I didn't know about padded flat envelopes. I didn't know that. I thought everything had to be shipped by weight. And so silly me, I thought, oh my God, all jeans are heavy. They're all going to cost like $10 to ship. And then I learned about these. They also have non-padded ones. They have flat rate envelopes that aren't padded. However, most folks I know that use the flat rate envelopes wrap their items in plastic before they slide it in because the envelopes are just paper, and if they get wet, it could get ruined. What's inside could get ruined. And I did the math. The amount of money difference between this padded flat and the envelope comes out to just around the cost of the plastic bags. So you're really not saving any money, I don't think. And this protects your items better because it's padded inside. So if this gets wet or thrown in a puddle of mud, the jeans inside will be okay, and they stretch. So if you have really big hoodies or really big pairs of pants or something you want to cram in here, they do stretch a little, the bubbles give. And post office, please don't get angry at me for sharing this with my people, but if you take a blow dryer on the low setting and blow it in there, then you can really stretch it out a whole bunch and cram like giant hoodies in there. No kidding. But I didn't know about those in the beginning, so I wouldn't touch jeans. I just wouldn't. And then when I found out about those, I'm like, why haven't I been selling jeans for all along? It's about $8 to ship. I know that. I can build it into the price. We made tons of mistakes on priority, charging, estimating the cost of shipping and doing free shipping. We've just learned along the way. For us, what works best is 16 ounces or less, first class, free shipping, not really free, built into the price. Jeans, free shipping, again, built into the price. And then anything that weighs over a pound, I just do calculated on it anymore because I used to try to build it into the price, and then someone in Hawaii or Puerto Rico would buy it and I'd be screwed. So I don't deal with that. You got to kind of play with it and figure out what works best for you, but know all your options. Know all the different envelopes that are out there that you can mail in, that you can go to the USPS.com and order supplies for free. Know all your priority options, all your flat rate options, your cheapest options. If you sell really big, heavy stuff, look at UPS, look at FedEx, compare your prices. Just learn everything before you start listing and don't make the same mistakes as us. Our inventory system in the beginning was horrendous. It was just horrific. In fact, it may have been the second or third video I ever did back in January of 2018, 3 years ago. where I was talking about how we were redoing our inventory system because it was so awful and so bad that we were just wasting tons of time with lost items and having to be a detective. And when did I list that? And do I still have the photo in my recycling bin or on my phone? And how can I find it? And where is it? And this is back when we only had like maybe 500 to 1,000 listings. You know, we were up close to I think we were right around 3,500 going into 2019 because we were aiming for an anchor store. Then we had decided to start cross-posting, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So the time it took to cross-post took time away from eBay. So we had to make a choice. Were we just going to build up to 4,000 listings and get an anchor store? Or were we going to kind of just drop back to around 2,500, 2,000 listings and have multiple streams of income on platforms? And the right answer, the correct answer to that is multiple streams of income. Obviously, you want to have as many streams of income, as many opportunities to sell your items, as many eyeballs on your items across the board as you can have. But anyway, back to the inventory. It was bad. It was bad. We were just throwing items in bins. We didn't really have a system. And I did a whole video on that in the beginning because it was just the amount of time we spent looking for items. We had to cancel stuff. We had to cancel sales. The amount of time I had to play investigative detective looking for stuff, it was just ridiculous. So I always like to tell people, no, start your really great inventory system from the beginning. If you're new enough, do it now. Start it from the beginning. If you've been at it for a little while, start it now. It's better to do it with 500 items than it is with 3,000. And if you don't have a good inventory system, you really are wasting so much time, which is money. All right, I'm going to catch up on the comments real quick, and then I'm going to tell you about our cross-posting mistake. Love Terra Peak. Sorry, guys. Just trying to catch up on the comments. Is that a flat rate envelope? Yes, these are padded flat rate envelopes. I can't get one. We pay $7 and some change for them because we're top rated seller plus, so our discount's a little bit more. But they're anywhere from like $7.49 to $8 to ship in. You can put anything in. If it fits, it ships. I've never had luck with pirate ship. Just doesn't work with what we sell. They do. I don't think they have non-flat rate envelopes, but they do have boxes. Yeah, just the same as anyone else. Lindsay, if you were selling a blouse for $10 and 5 ship, and you knew your bottom line was 8, if you're selling the same blouse for 15 free ship, then you would know your bottom line is 13. So, I mean, another example would be if you're selling Gap jeans $12, 8 ship, and you know your bottom line is 10, then the same jeans for 20 free ship, you know your bottom line is 18. It's the same exact thing, except it's all together rather than separate. Organized, yeah. Boy, David is on the ball tonight, pulling out all of the embarrassing, cringy videos from the beginning. I love it. Love it. Third video that I ever put up. That's awesome. I used to do vlogs as well. Those were pretty bad. Yeah, that's not the way to go, I don't think. I think it causes more issues than not having a nice system, depending on what you're selling. But, yep. Hey, Jamie, welcome in. We're happy to have you here. Thanks for coming. So I have an entire video. I think it was a live show think it was a live show, on how I run sales, and it explained exactly how I price things, how I mark them up 25% to get the exact price I want once they're on sale, and then how often and how I lower prices by 5% usually, and that's how I get those weird ending numbers. But you can go back and look for that video in your free time, but just, real quick, if I wanted to sell a pair of American Eagle jeans for $20, I basically know I want to get $19.99 because that's a penny less than 20. I know I want to start 25% higher because when I run my 20% off sale, then it's an even 20. So if you mark something for $25 and you put a 20% off, it's 20. So I'm going to start my American Eagles at 25, but I know I want that 99 at the end. You just drop a penny. So you put $24.99, the sale hits and knocks down to $19.99. That's all. Facebook. Yeah, ours has gone through a couple of changes. It's always being updated. It's always being changed as need be to fit our needs. We used to put 20 pairs of jeans in a bin. We have padded flat bins and first class bins because we actually store the items in what they're going to ship in. I'm trying to get one of these out. So if I take a picture of a blouse, I'll fold the blouse, put it inside here. I'll lay it on top of my scale, and we keep all of our location tags in this cow. I'll grab the next location out, and I'll take a picture. The blouse will be inside the bag on the scale, and I'll lay the tag in front of the weight and take the photo. That way, when I'm looking at a whole row of photos, number one, especially with jeans, because they all look so similar, they'll be broken up by that photo of the scale. So if I have 20 pairs of jeans, I know that at the end of each pair, I'm going to have a picture of this with a tag. So I know where the jeans begin and end. And then when I list, I have the exact weight to put in my listing, so I don't have to fart around with it at time of shipping. And then I have its location. So I can put the location number in the SKU line. I have the exact weight. When it sells, I can just pull it out of the bin. I take the tag off, throw it back in the cow. It's ready to ship. It's ready to go. I don't have to weigh it. I don't have to fart around with anything. So we keep all of our first class together and all of our padded flats together. And on the front of our bins, we have, like it'll say I. We keep our padded flat tags in a different bowl. These are our padded flat tags, first class tags in the cow. And so my padded flat bin will have a giant sign on the front of it that would say B, and then it would have a PF and a PF real tiny at the top and bottom, so I can see that it's a padded flat. I'm going to try, I have one right here. I don't know if I can pull it off. I'm going to try to pull it off. That's cool. I'll just have to tape it back on. All right, so on the front of every bin, this is an empty one that we're just going to start filling up. That's under the table here. So on the front of that bin is that bin's number and two tiny PFs. See them? PF, PF. So I know that in E7, those are going to be jeans. Now, without a first class bin, those PFs would just not be there, and it would just say E7, E6, whatever that is. So when something sells and we put the tags back in the bin, when we're taking the photos, we know which bin to pull, which bucket to pull our tags out of. We take a picture of it, and then when we list it, we can put the location in the SKU line, and that's where we pull it from. And it all works out really nice. And my point was, you got to change stuff up sometimes. So we used to keep 35 first class items and 20 pairs of jeans in each bin. But then they started to get overcrowded, and they were getting harder to dig in to look for stuff as it sold. And stuff was getting messed up. So instead of just standing up nicely in rows, stuff was starting to lay down at the bottom, and stuff was falling on top of it. And it just became a hot mess. So last spring when I went through our inventory, and you guys should be doing that as well. I know I talk about that sometimes, but you should be going through your inventory at least twice a year, if not once a quarter, just going through everything and double checking that it's still listed. Things fall off eBay all the time. No one knows how, no one knows why, no one knows what really happens, but stuff just falls off. I like to say there's evil gremlins that double list stuff and then pull stuff down, but you should be checking your inventory all the time, twice a year, once a quarter, just to see if it's still listed. I usually do it twice a year, right around the end of Q1, beginning of Q2, and then at the end of Q3 as we gear up for Q4. And I'll just do a bin or two a day. I have Keith bring them down here for me, and I go through each package, make sure it's still listed, make sure nothing fell off. So when I did that last spring, I can't think of the word I want. Downsized. So now our first class bins only hold 20 items, and our jeans bins only hold 15, and that way we don't have overstuffed or messy bins, if that makes sense. Too many numbers for adult beverage night. I bought a portable washing. Good. Yay. So I'm shitty at math. Excuse my French. I'm terrible at math. I cannot math. I excelled in English. I actually was a writer professionally at one point in my life. I love to read. I love the written word. But I cannot math for the life of me, and my brain's good enough to do free shipping. It's the same. There's no change. So if you comp something and everyone's selling it for $12 ship or $20 free ship, I mean, it's really not that hard. Like, even my brain comprehends it. You're just adding the shipping in. And free shipping is a best business practice that I preach and coach and teach all the time that you should be doing, because that's what folks want. Not only do buyers like it better, but you also get a free boost in the search algorithm on eBay for items with free shipping. So you'll show up higher. Yeah, jeans all look the same, and that's why I like to do the picture of the weight. I don't understand how you don't have a SKU line. Everybody has a SKU line. Everybody has one. Even people without a store have one. I don't understand that. It's like right under the title. Yeah, you can do that too. You can set up charts or whatever, cheat sheets. I need to get, yeah, it's a good idea to be ready beforehand and not be like me and redoing it. But, oh, there's only one more mistake I want to talk about tonight, and that's good because we're closing in on an hour here. The other biggest mistake Keith and I made in the beginning was cross-posting. Just the fact that we wouldn't. We were stubborn. We dug our heels in. We really thought eBay was enough. eBay takes up enough of our time. We're making enough sales. When we were volume sellers on eBay within 6 months of getting started. But many of you know my situation where I got hurt at work. I became disabled. I could not find work outside of the home anymore. And so for me, it was sink or swim. This was either going to work and pay our bills, or we were going to be in the poorhouse. And Keith really wanted to quit his job and join me. So we busted our butts. We always have. We've always worked really hard. So in the beginning, between the two of us, even with him working outside of the house, we would list 50 plus items a day on eBay. So our eBay grew very fast, really quickly. I think it was like less than 3 months. We already had 1,000 items up, and we were selling on the regular 5 to 8 items a day, daily. So we grew really fast, but we had determination, and we really wanted it to work, and we really put the work in behind it. And so when, after like a year or so, folks started telling us you should start cross-posting to Poshmark, you should start cross-posting to Macari, we did what a lot of resellers do, and that's just be a stubborn mule, be a stubborn donkey. we dug our heels in, and we didn't want no parts of that. We don't got no time for that. We don't want to cross post. We don't want to get on other platforms. I think the biggest thing was the time. Because of how much we listed on eBay, we were really trying to get 4,000 listings to have an anchor store pay for itself so we could have the biggest store. And we just really didn't want any part of it. We did do Bonanza, but that's because you just set it and forget it. Excuse me, I hiccuped. But we were really stubborn for the very longest, long time. And then when we finally started cross-posting, we started getting more sales. Now, there's nowhere near the amount of sales or traffic on Poshmark, Mercari, Grailed, any of the other ones that we sell on. No, none of them compare to eBay. No, absolutely not. When we're actively listing every single day and keeping our listings above 2,500, and it's not a weird poop year or COVID isn't happening or whatever, we're selling, 10 to 15 items a day on eBay. On a good week on Poshmark, when we're really, really active, we may sell 8 to 10 items the whole week. And that's if we're sharing and doing everything we're supposed to be doing. I don't think Poshmark sucks. I just think it's not eBay. And if you started on eBay, you're just not used to other platforms. They're not getting the traction. They're not getting the eyeballs. They're not getting the audience, the visits, the traffic, none of that. eBay is always probably going to sell more for most people than any other platform. It just is. Are there the rare folks on Mercari who sell more on Mercari? Yeah. Are there a couple people on Poshmark who make 6 figures a year just selling clothing on Poshmark? Yeah. There's always going to be outliers and exceptions to every rule, but for us, none of those platforms have ever, nor will they ever compare to the volume we see on eBay, but they're extra sales, they're extra money, they're extra streams of income, and I really wish that we had not dug our heels in and been so stubborn, and that we had expanded earlier, sooner than we did, just because extra streams of income are just that. They're extra streams. And Poshmark and Mercari and Grailed and all of the other platforms are so much easier to list on than eBay. So much faster. Of course, you guys know I use List Perfectly, and I use their bulk cross-posting tool, so I can do like 20 items on Posh and 20 items on Mercari in under 5-10 minutes. But even if you're doing them manually by yourself, Poshmark takes less than a minute for a listing. Mercari takes like less than a minute. They're just so easy to list on that you can get stuff cross-posted relatively quickly and with very, very little frustration. It's just easy, with ease, I should say. So you should be cross-posting. You should have as many streams of income as you can. Just because having all your eggs in one basket is not smart. And extra income is extra income. So even if you're only making, a couple extra sales on all the other platforms a week, it does add up. It's extra money. Let me catch up on the comments real quick, guys. No, I don't anymore. I don't do that anymore. My blog is a thing of the past. Yeah, no. You get media mail for books. I am going to be starting a new hobby that I probably will be sharing with you guys, just because it's cool. I was looking up diamond dot painting, where you push the little dot. It's like cross-posting, but you're pushing dots, not cross-posting. Jeez, my mind is on cross-posting. It's like cross-stitching, but instead you're pushing little dots in. I ordered a Baby Yoda one, and I ordered a Pennywise from It, Stephen King's It. I ordered them on Amazon. They're taking forever to get here, but I'm probably going to show them off when I finish them, or at least show them at one point. Thank you, Dave and Bill, as always. eBay sets limits for what you can list, not for what you can ship. And if you outgrow your limits quickly, you can keep calling in and asking to upgrade. The more you list, the more you sell. The more you sell, the faster you get eBay top seller. So we just kept asking to have our limits increased. You also have to remember, before I started in with Keith, he did this on his own for like a year while I was still working outside of the house. And it was just kind of like a part-time hobby for him. He started with just a couple of items, and he was going to grow it into something that he could quit his job for. And he was getting there. So he spent a year by himself. So he had already built up the limits. It wasn't like we started brand new fresh. So when I got hurt at work and decided that I was going to do this full time because I couldn't work anymore, he had already been at this for a while. He had already raised his limits. He didn't have but maybe 50, 100 listings, but you can keep calling in and having them lifted. So it wasn't like we opened a store and started listing 50 a day. It had been open for a while. Poshmark is good for some people. I guess it just depends. I don't particularly think it's ever going to be eBay for us. Mercari's poop, and I know a lot of people like it, and I think Mercari is absolute poop. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like them or not. I could have the worst or the best eyes and like it or not like it. It's just going to depend on me, I guess. I used to cross stitch when I was younger. And then someone told me for anxiety and OCD that diamond dots are really good because it's just like repetitive and it's soothing. And that's part of the reason why I like listing jeans so much, is because I could take a stack of 40 jeans over here, put a movie on, one after the other, same measurements over and over. That soothing action, that repetition, that routine. So I'm thinking I'm going to like it. I already have bad eyes. I don't know that that's going to be taken into consideration. If I like something, I make it work. If you dump the diamonds on the floor, I'll be careful not to. All right, guys, we've been up for about an hour, so I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. If you think of any questions you forgot to ask later, feel free to come back on the channel. The video will be up as a replay as soon as StreamYard loads it. Thank you, English. Or you can go to the Facebook group and tag me. Make sure you tag me if you're going to ask me a question in there. Sometimes people will be like, hey, Star, and it doesn't tag me. Just make sure it tags me so I notice. I do check in on the group approximately once an hour, once every 2 hours if I'm super busy. I get behind on YouTube comments. So the quickest way is to join the group. Just put the link over there and tag me. Return customers on eBay are very rare. I don't think they're that commonplace. I mean, we've had some, but that's only because they're like stores that, like electronic stores that sell systems and things that need remotes that keep coming back to us for remotes. I just don't think it's that common on eBay. I think it's more common for like Etsy. How do you actually find them? There really is no way. You just have to kind of remember their name or whatever when they come back. All right, guys. Again, if you forgot anything, you can always tag me in the group and ask me later. Come back and leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. It really does help the channel a lot. And make sure you're subscribed. A lot of folks have been saying yet again that people are mysteriously becoming unsubscribed to one another's YouTube channels. So make sure you're still subscribed and that the little bells hit so you're notified when I put out new content. Join the Facebook group and go be productive and go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I guess since tonight's the 3-year anniversary. Thank you guys for all 3 years, and we wouldn't still be here 3 years later if it wasn't for you. So thank you guys so much for all of your support and your continued support on this channel and for what we do here. Love you guys. Bye.